Good afternoon to everyone. Afternoon to my friends and colleagues in UTP, as well as those who are watching me on FB Live. Today, let's join me for a sharing session on my journey of fleet learning and beyond, a form of meta connection through student portfolio. I'm Dr. Savita Sugathan from CISD UTP. Before I begin, this is something that I truly believe in myself. Thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. Alright? This is a thought that by Bob Proctor from The Secret, which talks about law of attraction. So thoughts will make things reality. So this brings to my teaching philosophy. Alright? So as an instructor, I believe that each student should take their ownership and learn to the journey of lifelong learning. And I really believe in this quote where when we wake up in the morning, we have two simple choices. Go back to sleep and dream, or wake up and chase those dreams. So I take my student as an adult learner, and we are equal in this journey of learning. So I believe learning comes both ways. I can learn from my student can learn from me. So the instructor and the student must come to the class with the right motivation to learn and prepare to learn. Okay? And in my class, I believe in reward and second chances instead of punishment. So I reward my student for the activities, the changes, the achievement with sweets, chocolates. Yeah, I bring bottles of chocolates to my classes, all right, and I believe in meaningful notes as well as positive gesture. So teaching and learning is a commitment of life. It is beyond than only interest or a paying job for me. So there is a difference between interest and commitment. When you're interested in doing something, you will do it only when the situation requires you. When you are committed in something, you accept no excuse but only result. So at the end, never stop learning because life never stop teaching. Alright, so here is my journey of active learning. So as everyone knows, active learning is a process of engaging students in an activity that forces them to reflect upon the ideas or how they are using those ideas. So students regularly assess their own degree of understanding or skill on certain concept or problem. Okay, so here we get the student to mentally or physically engage in their learning through activities. And fleet learning is actually the inverted notion of a classroom base, where students are introduced to the learning material before the class. And during the classroom time, is used to deepen the understanding of the material through discussion with peers as well as problem-solving activities. So what is learning through reflection? Okay, here we can see some of the concept of reflection. Reflection involves linking a current experience to the previous learning. So reflection involves in drawing your cognitive, your emotion information from various sources. In reflective classroom, the instructor, which is me, invite the student to make a meaning from their experience, either in the written form or in the oral. So at the end of the day, reflecting means apply what students have learned to the context beyond than the original situation. So as we all agree, it is clear that power in learning is the action of doing the activity. So reflection provides the same power through the action of articulating your thoughts. So what is meta connection? Meta connection is about thinking about one's thinking. Alright? So it includes a critical awareness of one's thinking and learning, oneself as a thinker and a learner. So meta connection is a practice of teaching and encouraging students to think about thinking and how they learn the best. So meta connection take place before, during, and after, and involve 4 stages, which is comprehension, connection, strategy, and lastly, reflection. So these are some of the reflection questions that we can ask during the class. What did we just learn? What was the problematic area? Why? Was it easy? Why? How can we apply what we have learned? What was the muddiest point of today's lesson? What have you learned today? So asking students to reflect in written or oral on what they learned give them the opportunity to assess their current understanding and determine the significant content from the material. This short reflection allows the instructor to understand the level of the student understanding on the material at a particular moment in time. So what do I do in my class? I introduce student portfolio. So what is student portfolio? Portfolio is a set of information. Okay, it includes text, pictures, diagram, tables, chart, scheme, photo, produced by students over a certain period of time and on a particular subject. Okay, so this student portfolio is a collection of information that is well organized, and it becomes a great reference material for the student to study for their quiz, their test, for their exam, for their revision, and it also contains student self-assessment and reflection. So it promotes development. So it promotes a reflective development of the student. It stimulates the conceptual enrichment process as well as it contributes to the self-construction of knowledge. So what in my class, okay, so I have 12 weeks structure. So my students are required to create a student portfolio, okay, of the 12 weeks material, which consists of the student portfolio will have a title page, all right, table of content. They have to write something about themselves, personal statement, their personal profile, and they have to create a concept map for each chapter. So in this chapter, it depends. It could be a material, white paper, journals, video, that whatever I shared in earlier before the class, a concept map must be created for every single of those material. And based on that, each mind map, they have to create a self-reflection on each of the mind map, each of the concept map created. So the reflection can be handwritten, can be typed, but it must include an emoticons when they're doing their reflection on each of the chapter. Other than that, I encourage the student to include additional document that they read on their own initiative apart from the material that I shared for the class. And lastly, the portfolio consists of self-reflection, okay, where they will carry out self-reflection on the course lecture, which myself, on their own self, as well as their peers and team members. So how does it work? Okay, so the lecture notes, the class material, the videos are given a week earlier, at least a week earlier, okay? And before the class, each of the students are required to draw the concept map for the chapter for the week. For example, I will be teaching ITGC, okay, IT General Control. Material was given in advance, the video are given in advance. They have to go through the material and the video, and they have to create a concept map based on their understanding of the material or the video. And then they will bring the concept map to the class. Okay, during the class, we will have a very deep discussion on the topic of IT General Controls. And as we discuss in the class, the students are required to update their concept map, okay, where the main points that I discuss in the class may be missing from their concept map. All right, and other than that, they also will carry out a note comparison where they will compare their notes to their peers, and they will see how that particular concept are represented or what are the points that are missing. And after the class, each student are required to create a student portfolio. So the portfolio is actually a living document. So today they will go to the class. Before go to the class, they have to create a concept map. And then the concept map will be updated and improvised during the class. And after they return from the class, they have to add on and update it and put it as part of the student portfolio. So at the end of the day, the student portfolio consists all the concept map from all the chapter, the reflection as well as the reflection. Okay, so the student portfolio will be assessed twice. First in the middle of the semester, so they must start doing the student portfolio from the first week of the semester itself, and it will be assessed twice. So first assessment will be carried out in the middle of the semester, where the student have to submit all their portfolio to me to be assessed, and the second submission assessment will be the last week of the semester. So during the first submission, as an instructor, I will give them feedback of improvement on their concept maps and will guide them on the chapters that they have difficulty on. So and then next, okay, so this concept map, okay, drawing to learn, okay. So I actually encourage my student to do the concept map through manual drawing instead of using digital or free software on the internet, okay. So concept map is actually a visual means of showing a relationship, connection between the concept, okay. And concept map helps the student to organize or identify ideas that relate in multiple ways, okay. So the student can compare the concept map, all right, and the instructor can assess if the student are drawing the appropriate connection between the concepts. As I said earlier, I believe there's a psychological benefit of drawing. So I actually encourage the student to create their portfolio as creative as possible. And every portfolio can come in different forms, okay? And it's like a platform for the student to express their creativity, yet they learn the courses, and through drawing, I believe it lifts up the mood, it boosts the student creativity, it encourages the self-reflection, and drawing help with anxiety. And not only that, I believe drawing, reading, going through it, analyzing the data, synthesizing the data, process those information will help them to memorize better. So apart from that, okay, so the student also use emoticons to do their reflection. So what is emoticon? It's a topographic display of facial representation to convey their emotion, their understanding, their reflection on each chapter of the course. For example, so this is how what the student do. So if you can see, what is IT audit? The student, okay, give a good go. But if you see the chapter COSO, the student show some anxiety or difficulty, some expression that as an instructor I know that the student is having some issue on the COSO topic. So emoticon is one way for the student to express their emotions and as well as the reflection on the topic after they have created the concept map. Okay, so during with the concept map, the students are encouraged to do the note comparison. Okay, when they do note comparison with their peers, they realize the information that is missing, they realize there are insight that they need to add on, and if they do self-assessment, okay, the student can also reflect again. Okay, will reflect, monitor, evaluate their thinking and the way they do it. So this will actually improve their motivation. At the same time, it also helps them to identify the gaps, all right, in creating a plan, because they are using metacognition. They are thinking about their thoughts. What have I learned? What I don't understand? What was the problem here? Where is the muddiest point? So they are thinking about what they are thinking. So it's thoughts, thinking over the thoughts, all right? And they have to do that because they need to draw the concept map. And then they will reflect back on the concept map, how they feel about it and what level of understanding they have it. And at the same time, we also can carry out group assessment. So these are sample of a portfolio. So I have a few examples here with me. So if you see, this portfolio are carried out in the form of file. So they are files, it's yellow in color, very bright, okay? This subject that I'm teaching, IT risk and auditing, is purely reading subject. So it's one way to make it interesting. And it has a lot of terms theories to be remembered. So this is one way to allow the student to remember those terms and theory and apply it. So once they understand the concept well, I will relate those theory to a real case study, all right, from the industry. I invite adjunct lecturer to come and talk. I invite students who went for internship in audit company to come and share their experience so that they can learn and link the theory they learn in the class with the real experience from the intern students. Alright, so if you can see here, it's very, very colorful. So the student, okay, it's very, very colorful. So that is all depend on how they want to do it. Okay, it's their creativity. So this one of the example, and we have this. Okay, it's just normal bind. Okay, but it is very colorful inside. Okay, if you can see. And then we have another one. This student have it in the form of file too. Okay, and the student use different way. Okay, this student love drawing. Okay, she find drawing reduce her anxiety. So she learns better for this course despite it's a reading courses because she able to express her understanding through drawing. And lastly, yeah, the cover might look simple, but this student like to do she do everything more detailed. She's a more detailed person. So she create her mind maps with more text. Okay, her concept maps or her mind maps. So some students call it as a concept map, some call it as mind map. It's a little bit different, but I gave the student the flexibility on how they should create their concept map or their mind map. The main thing, my motivation is that the student should able to learn, to grab whatever is covered in the class and able to apply it. So it does not have one size fits all. So whatever that is the best for the student to digest and able to reflect whatever is learned in the class, that is what is encouraged by me. So these are some of the example of concept map. If you can see, different students have different way of doing the concept map. Okay, but I always tell them, design the concept map in a way that it will help you to remember those facts, able to make you to relate those concepts, which can help you in your quiz, your test, your exam, and beyond than that. Because the student who learns, completed this course will actually go for their internship, and many of them end up doing their interns in an audit company, where these concepts that they learn in the class will need to be applied on their daily internship. So therefore, they have to represent those information in a way that they understood the most. And this is some of the example of a reflection that I obtained at the end of each of the portfolio. So IT risk and auditing is an interesting subject to learn. It gives us knowledge on how systematic approach is the best way to ensure that organization is working well and it improve on which it is lacking. ITRA might be a reading subject, but we can relate it to a real industry situation, and this make it more interesting. Okay, so this is some of the reflection on the course and reflection on the course lecture. Alright, for example, Dr. Savita makes sure that we understand and learn during all her lecture. She also assigned us to work on mind mapping, which is something new to me. But I found it that it's very useful and efficient to my understanding toward this course. Like I was saying earlier, this course is a reading subject with a lot of terms and theory, and how to get them to understand, to hold their interest and their motivation on this course. So this is one way that I have done for my class, is through concept maps, emoticons, reflection, student portfolios. So these some other things that the student have reflected here. So he said, Dr. Savit, when I heard about, let's see, okay, to be honest, I could not comprehend why this subject is so important because I do not have any interest in audit. What I have heard about audit, just complex process to be delivered to our client. However, Dr. Savita had been using a comprehensive technique to deliver this course, and her approach was through assignment, case study, project. Besides, she posted video on YouLearn that will be useful. So I have used multiple mediums apart from the YouLearn's you learn video, and they can actually reach me via WhatsApp. Okay, so the student can reach me through WhatsApp 24/7, 7 days a week, and I will respond the fastest I could respond to them, and they know about that. And so this is more of the reflection on the lecture, all right, and it shows that they enjoy and they believe that the concept map does help them to learn. Okay, and reflection on own self. So they have a reflection that they have to do on their own self. Okay, for example, although by doing mind map is not my style of learning, but I know by doing this I will gain something benefit and useful in my studies. Okay, and here we can see by end of the semester I still find myself not interested in reading subject, but it is exceptional for ITRA course. I gain so much of knowledge along this way in this subject. I would like to thank every single person who take part on my journey. And reflection on peers. So during their group work, the students are required to reflect on their peers, on their team dynamics. So this is one of the example as a peer assessment. We also have this form given to the student to evaluate their peers for the group work. And some of the reference I use. With that, thank you so much.